Jesus, only you, only you, should deserve my praise. That is one thing I love to give you. I give you all the praise. Only you. Nobody else but you. Only you deserve my praise. Only you. Jesus, Jesus. Everybody say, only you should deserve my praise. From the east to the west, from the north to the south, we say,
Can I just sincerely apologize for the break in transmission and just a little trouble with network on the studio, and we want to apologize for that. Thank you for staying with us. Please share the second video and invite your friends to join us as we continue with the show. Pauline, apologies for that. We were just you were in the middle of talking about positiveness.
Yes.
Even when a child makes mistakes, we need to, as parents, keep being positive about our children.
Yes.
Because it helps them, mentally. It helps them to stay strong. We were talking about that.
Yes, yes. We're talking about in our generation, in the world in which we live today, the children are surrounded by a lot of negativity from the peers, from social media, from teachers in school telling them they can do this or they cannot do that, and how bad they are. So children are surrounded by a lot of negativity. So as parents, it's our responsibility to throw in those positive words, those words that will raise their sense of self-belief, that will increase their sense of self-belief, because that sense of self-belief is what will raise their self-confidence and will help them to be able to thrive even in difficult situations. Made a mistake in, encourage them to say, that is not the you I know. That is not you. You are better than this. And remind them of the good things they've done in the past. That's so that we can help them improve that sense of self-belief. It is really, really important for us as parents to be positive. Yes.
You mentioned earlier, I know you work with young people, especially of Black community and the families. You mentioned earlier about, I think I read on your website, you try to change the mindset of parents on the achievement of Black young people.
Yes.
As well. And you touch a little bit on the fact that teachers also can be negative about our children.
Oh, sure.
Especially children from our Black community. They can be negative. How important it is for us as parents not to just listen to what someone say about our child, but to try, because African parents, I know I'm from Nigeria. We know how we were raised. The minute your teacher says your child is this, they just hold that on their child and against their child, instead of trying to boost the morale of the child, make the child more confident with themselves.
True. Because
we as parents, what we say to them, to our child, is very crucial.
It is.
If you can, there is a proverb, back home, that if you have trouble outside, you run home. So if a child is troubled outside, he's already been told by the teacher, you're underachieving, you're not doing well at school, and then the parent is told, it's okay, you can tell me about how my child is doing, but how important is it for a parent not to be negative about the child from the comments of other people?
That's right, yes. So it's about making room. It's about, again, that mindset as parents that are negative. Yes, they throw negative comments towards children. But we as parents then need to look at our children and see how we can support our children to move on from where they are. Because sometimes this negativity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The teacher is throwing this at the children, and then the children come home and the parents are throwing the same negativity, and then the child says, well, nobody sees anything good in me, so what is the point in trying? And they stop trying. So we really have an important role to play. Whatever it is they tell us, be it at church, your child has done this, your child is this, your child is that. It is our role to sit down and work with our children to move on from that negative comment that adults either in the surroundings or their peers are saying about them. That's very, very important.
I think there is a quote I really love. I talk about it all the time, especially with my children at home, about a boy that the teachers say he will never amount to nothing. And he's heard all over the world today, and his name is Albert Einstein. I talk a lot about that to encourage my children. You know, you have to try and maximize their strength.
Yes.
Because they do have strength.
They
Even
have.
the most challenging child have their own strength in them.
And it is in when we throw those positive words and encouraging words to them, we see the strength start to come out. But a child who is receiving negative words and negative comments and criticism all the time is limited. That kind of blocks them from having that gifting, that greatness in them coming out. Children who thrive in positive environments.
I mean, we are Essence Show is a Christian show as well, and the Bible is full of quotations that encourages us as adults, and also we can use those to empower our children and encourage them. And you know what Pauline is saying is she's right. What we feed our children with, the mindset, everything you say, comments is powerful. Words are powerful. You keep feeding your child's mind with negative comments. You know, remember this, that the Bible says faith cometh by hearing, and hearing. The more you hear it, you keep having faith. You know, so if you hear you can do well, you have it in you, you can thrive. No matter, even the teacher say you're down here, you need to prove it by making yourself up there. And by doing so, you need to study hard, you need to support your child, and also, we're going to get there in a minute. But faith cometh by hearing. I want to leave that with you as well, viewers. So, how do we help our children to face their fears? I talked about maths. I hated maths as a child. In fact, if I had my out of the class, it's time for maths. So how do we help them to face their fears? Sometimes even children struggle to speak in public. How do we help them? How do we as parents encourage them in that way?
Fantastic. That's a very, very good question. Children, like human beings, do fear one or two things. We all have some degree of fear. Now, the most important thing as a parent, if you sense your child is afraid of trying something, if you can, once you pick that up, you want to discuss it. What is it you're afraid of? So first step is to identify the fear. Now, once you've identified the fear, then the next thing is, why are you afraid of it? Because you think people will judge you? Are you afraid you will not succeed? Are you afraid you will make mistakes? So you're trying to get them to think about what is the root cause of the fear. Now, based on that, the plan, how will you support the child? So if, for example, they say that they are afraid to try out something because they might fail, or some people will laugh at them, for example, or they might fail, then it's to encourage them to say, that if you don't actually try, you will not know how well you can do it. And with my children, I always take this, talk to them about, when they start to do a sport. Okay, they're all involved in different sports. When they started to do that sport, were they as good as where they are now? Yes? And then I said, okay, what do they think they did that made them to be where they are now? They said practice. And so we discussed the fact that, practice makes perfect. If you had never tried at the start, you say, well, I'm not good at gymnastics, Mom, and you never tried, you would never have gotten there. So that way you're helping them to step out of their comfort zone by encouraging them, by giving them real life scenarios of where they have actually persisted at doing something and they have done it well. So let's remind them of their past successes. Sometimes we might need to expose them to role models. So expose them, for example, within the BME community, there is that aspect of black children underachieving, black children not going to elite universities. Just take your or black children, black teenagers being unruly, or teenagers being unruly, and that kind of thing. Now get them around teenagers that are well behaved, that are respectful to their parents, and that have a good relationship with their parents. They will see that not all teenagers are like that. That way, you expose them to people that will exemplify what you want them to learn. Take them to, get teenagers around you, or young people who have gone to maybe those top universities that your child feels is not for black people, for example, and let them talk about their examples. What did they do? It's okay for black children to go to Oxford or Cambridge. Nobody looks down on you, because a lot of black children have that perspective that it's not for us, it's for the upper class, it's for this class, and it's for that class. But then when your child can have a conversation with someone who has been there, that will help them. Take them. I believe in mentoring. It's a powerful tool that parents need to look out for. Your child wants to become maybe a lawyer, a barrister. Find a barrister who is within the community, who's making it, and let them spend a day with them and see, let them talk to them about what they did to get there, their experiences. That way, they break out of that limit, learn to conquer their fears. I encourage parents, use incentives. Someone says it's bribe. It's not bribe as long as you get the result you want. Yes, at the place of work, we get bonuses, we get incentives when we hit targets. So it's okay to use incentive to say, okay, if you do this, okay, Mom, I want to quit swimming, for example. I an activity. So that's part of tenacity, of resilience, of developing mental strength.
Wow.
So when you started an activity, you have to go through it until we think, okay, maybe you really don't enjoy it anymore, we find something else you want to do. So you don't quit because it's hard. Yes, so if a child is in that mode, find something they like and use it as an incentive. Okay, let's give ourselves this term. Try and do it. If you do it to the end of this term, you have this incentive. I keep encouraging them. And as they keep at it, they will stick with it.
So
unless they don't really like it.
What sort of incentive is appropriate?
Okay, it depends on parents need to know their children. Now, for my youngest daughter, KFC at the end of the week would do. For my teenage daughters, money would do, or maybe an outfit or something that they like, or an outing to a restaurant would do. So parents need to understand what it is their children like, what makes them tick, and go with that. But I think we need to put everything in place to ensure that our kids move out of or step out of their fears, and most importantly, share with them our fears. I share with them confidence growing up as a child and as a young adult, and how, just thinking or speaking in front of people, I would freeze. I'll forget everything I want to say. They have seen me grow, and they all say, Mom, we have seen you grow, and we know that there is nothing that we cannot become. So for those whose children didn't see them grow, talk to them about where you were before. It was interesting because I was discussing with some people. They invited me for a program, and at the end we were talking about my experience. They said, don't tell me you couldn't speak before. And I'm like, yes, I couldn't speak before. I couldn't speak in front of people. I was so shy. I lacked self-confidence. So by sharing our experiences with our children, being vulnerable to our children, they learn best that, yes, we can be afraid, but we can move past our fears. Now, the wrong approach would be to say, how can you be afraid? Because some parents have the approach, oh, you can't be afraid. It's not right for a child of God to be afraid. Yes, we shouldn't be afraid as children of God, but in real life, there are things that make us fear. So by saying you can't be afraid and quoting scriptures work, but then we need to teach the children how to move past their fears. Sometimes that is just all they need, to move past their fears.
Scriptures work, but the application of
it is important.
And
absolutely.
you have to be practical,
yes.
about it.
Yes.
Like parents, you've heard it. You're human. Your child is human. When you make a mistake, You know how you deal with yourself when you make a mistake. So a child is allowed to make a mistake and learn from it, and we help them
Yes.
to learn from it. Pauline, you talk about exposure, and I just thought, let me ask this question. What about parents who are not exposed? How is it you have a child who's very brilliant, who's very intelligent, who's got all these skills, but the parent is not exposed? How can level of exposure influence a child's mentality?
Very, very. Exposure, environment, as you said, is so important, because in the Bible says that bad company corrupts good character. So if a child is surrounded by good company, by children who want to do well, by children who have high aspirations, then they will want to do the same. If a child is surrounded by negative kids who are poorly behaved, who can't be bothered revising for an exam, then they are not surrounded by positivity, and they may eventually, unless they are really strong mentally, as we're seeing today, they may fall back. Now, exposure, I think that as a community we are blessed, because within our community, in churches, we are surrounded by very, very successful people in different careers. Now, I say, unfortunately, we as church communities do not harness this. As a church community, we need to be getting those people who have succeeded, who are successful in their careers. They could be in law, in the financial sector, in the medical sector, in businesses. Put together programs where these people talk about how they got there. I think that is really crucial as a community. In the Western world, I know that people following from Africa, but in the Western world, it is a different ball game. These children need that exposure. They need role models. I would say get out of your way. Go on social media, go on Twitter, find a role model. I have connected with great people on Facebook, on Twitter. Send them a personal message, ring them, travel if it means traveling to meet these people there. Get that exposure. We have a lot of them within the community.
Wow.
So we don't need to travel. We have a lot of them within the community. Connect with people. I think parents need to feel comfortable also to say to their children, I am not very happy with where we are now. There is more. Now, one of the things that we do as parents is we love to drive around those affluent areas. Go through Altrincham, Lynn, Winslow, and places like that. And let the children see another life. See that life is not around where we are. It doesn't end here around our little detached or terrace houses in Manchester, Moston, Openshore, and places like that. Let them see that there is another side to life. And once they see that, let's talk about, we get into conversations about what do you think these people are doing to be able to afford this. When we go abroad, it's the same thing we do. Wherever we find ourselves, we go to those areas. Let our children see, because when you don't see, you cannot aspire for something you have not seen. You want to create that aspiration to say, you know what, you cannot continue to misbehave in school. There are a lot of opportunities out there that you are missing because you are not paying attention in the classroom. This education can give you this and that opportunity. Let's show them examples of people that have done well in education. The media is showing that people that have done well in sports, in show business, in music, but the media is not showcasing people that have succeeded in careers. Yes, children, let's encourage holistic development. So as we develop our kids in their education, we let their natural talents also develop. But we say that they need to ensure that whatever they're doing, they are maximizing it. So in school, if you're involved in education, you maximize it. You're involved in sports and music, you try your best and ensure that you can get to whatever extent you can get to. So it is really important for us to expose our children. Let's not leave our children, all they know is a little neighborhood where they live. Let's get them to see the other side of life.
Wow, that is powerful. I'm learning from that myself as well. We like that little go around, drive around town. I think we'll be going somewhere
Yes.
posh and go and see life outside of
Absolutely.
Manchester where we live. That is, I mean, I'm so blessed. We are blessed on the essence to have you today to
It's
come
my
and talk
pleasure.
about things. We only have a few minutes, but I just wanna. I thought I asked this as well. To struggle, because we parents, some of us we are hard workers and we struggle in life as well. Is it all right for a child to be allowed occasionally to struggle to showcase their
Yes, yes, I will say all out yes, children need to be allowed to struggle because the only way they can learn is by struggling. By saying, Mom, I'm struggling with this. Now, I'll just give an example. My daughter started the GCSEs this week, and they had work, study leave the week before. And she said, Mom, I need your help to plan out my time. So we sat down together for an evening. We took the exam timetable and we planned out every day how she would revise what she would revise. We put it down on the timetable and she said, wow, Mom, I can see that it's quite easy. I know because some children are just overwhelmed. They'll be under a lot of pressure just because they feel, wow, I have so many exams, I have so many topics I've not covered yet, but just that support. So when children struggle, our role is to come in and support them. And I think that is where, as parents, we need to develop ourselves. Because if we don't develop ourselves, you can only give what you have.
That's right.
If we are limited, let's look for help. There is nothing wrong with looking for help. In just ringing maybe an adult in the church, someone else that you think can help you, and say, help me with my child. Please help me talk to my child. I am struggling. It's something that we find difficult to do. There is nothing wrong. It's
a few things you said, everything goes down to something, because last week we talked a lot about the role of a parent, and one thing that really stood out on the box, the toolbox, was communication. Everything you've kind of said here, it's about talking to your child, encouraging your child, supporting your child, and you cannot do without communication. How can you apply this to help your child be strong mentally?
Communication. Talking is communicating is very, very important because it's through the words that we are able to help children see a different dimension. Mom, I have failed. Through talking with your child, you're able to help them go through failure, learning from their failure, learning from their mistakes. Mom, I don't feel confident, or I feel others are better than myself. Through communication, you're going to help them discover their strength, discover that they have good, they have strengths as well, they have things they are good at as well. So communication is everything, because it is through words, even the Bible says words have creative power. So through constant communication, ensuring, I think the most important thing parents need to do is to allow that free flow of communication, never to allow that to create that fence, that boundary, that barrier to communication through negativity, through criticism. Those are the things that limits or hinder communication. Let's keep telling them the right things. That's important. Let's keep telling them the things that will help them develop that mental strength. So yes, communication is a bedrock to it.
Okay. This is the Essence Show, and normally we will always ask this question: how is being mentally strong as a child? How will that impact in their essence in life?
Okay. So yes, every child has got purpose. Everybody has got a purpose that God put them on earth here to accomplish. Now, without that mental strength, which we can term resilience, grit, tenacity, without that mental strength, it's difficult to start a project and take it through to the end. It's difficult to start on a career and strive to move up the career ladder. It's difficult for your child to aim to become an A-star student. They need tenacity, they need mental strength. It's difficult for a child to start off on a football training team and carry on to the end, because it takes hours and hours of practice. It's difficult for a child to start on a music career and reach the top of that career. So mental strength is important in helping children achieve their purpose in life.
Wow. Well, it's been amazing having you on the studio with us, Pauline. I want to say thank you to as many that has joined us this morning. I know we had a bit of a hiccup with the technical parts of things, but we came back on board. Please do us a favor. We have 2 videos of this today. Please share both videos so that it can reach out to other parents there. I want to thank as many that has joined today. Aritz, thank you. Thank you, thank you, Ajetumobi Afolakemi. We want to say thank you to Dr. Ivy Charles. Thank you to Christine Ayode, who joined as well. And Didoni Akande, I saw you there as well. I want to appreciate all of you that have tuned in. Pauline, do us a favor. If anybody should tune in right now, and they've just joined now, in a very few seconds, what should they remember on today's show?
Okay. The most important thing I would say is you are your child's teacher, number 1 teacher, role model, and mentor. Raising up a mentally strong child will require you to be these 3 roles. To teach them the values, yes, and when they are going through their ups and downs, to teach them how to get over it. To role model it, yes, to role model that what you want them to learn, and then to mentor them. So you've taught, you've role modeled, you're mentoring them to ensure that they're growing. You're exposing them to role models. You're exposing them to experiences that will challenge them and help them get out of their comfort zone. You're exposing them to communicating, ensuring that communication flows at home. And finally, I want to end without saying, as children of God, pray for our children, because there is nothing that we can do without God's help. So let's never stop praying for our children. Let's never give up on any child. Be it a teenager that you think has gone completely astray, God can bring a turnaround, in their lives.
Wow. Amen. I say a big amen to that. Our society today, a lot is happening, and it's crucial for us to raise up our children to be mentally strong to face the future. So many things is happening. We hear it in the news. In London, so many things happening over there. In Manchester, we hear bits and bobs here and there that are negative, especially within the black children, black community. We need to change it, and we can only do that by raising our child to be strong enough to face the future. And what we do as parents is important, because we are role models. You've heard it from Pauline, a few points that she's raised. I hope that it will help you that have watched us. Please share the video to help someone as well. Parents, teach your children, give them opportunity, and allow them to practice. You will give them the wings to fly. I'm just summarizing some of the things that Pauline have said in the studio today. We want to appreciate everyone that has joined us today. Pauline, thank you so much for making time. I pray God give you more grace to do what you're doing, because you're really affecting our community. You're really impacting on us as parents. I have learned so much today, and I'm so going to apply them. And I hope you have done the same too. I wish you all the best this beautiful weekend. It's nice and sunny in Manchester. I hope it's good in your area as well. I wish you a fabulous weekend, and hopefully you'll come and join us next week. The song we started with was Only You by Joe Praise, and we're going to end the show this evening with Forever You Are God. In everything we do, we are children. We've got to commit it to God. He is forever God in our lives, and He'll help you through. Just keep talking to your child, keep communicating, keep being positive. Only God can help you through it, but you have to play your part. Forever You Are God by Honors. We're going to end with that song. Thank you and see you next week. Take care.
Even when everything seems not to be going well, I bless you, Lord. I bless you, Lord. Oh, lift your voice and bless His name. I bless you, I bless you, I bless you, I bless you, Lord. Wherever you are, God, you have never once changed. You have never once failed. And forever you are. Help me sing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. My soul sings hallelujah. You are God. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Forever you are God. Forever you are God.